Do you want to know how to live life deliciously? Well, you are in the right place. Welcome to Cookbooks with Virginia. This is a weekly cookbook review show. We ask questions from some of your favorite authors. You can ask questions of your favorite authors. And this week, I'm featuring a delicious waffle recipe with a homemade syrup for your weekend. And I am certain that you're going to love it. So this week we have as a guest Tara Teaspoon of this book, Live Life Deliciously. And y'all, I know that you are going to love this book. Let's welcome Tara. There you go. Hey,
Hi, good morning.
good morning. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, I'm so thrilled. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Tara, your book is gorgeous.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Oh, I'm just such a visual eater that I wanted lots of big pictures of food. So thank you.
I know it, right? That is like so important. You can see all my sticky notes of the recipes that I really want to try.
Yeah, oh good. I'm glad. That's what I want is just be inspired, try new things. I'm thrilled.
No, it's good. So, y'all, here's the deal. So, we've got the show Cookbooks with Virginia, and there's also an Instagram giveaway. So, if you head to my Instagram feed, which is Virginia Willis, and you'll see the copy of Tara's gorgeous book, and you're going to the instructions are all right there. So, if you follow me, you can still enter. You're going to follow me, and you're going to follow Tara. Make a comment, tag a friend, and then that's it. So over the course of the weekend, it's going to last until Monday. And then on Monday morning, we put it into a little software program and it spits out a winner, and you could win a free copy of Tara's book. So I wanted to talk to you about that because I think that one of the things that's happened so much, you and I both share a history working with Martha Stewart.
We do. Seems like a lifetime ago, right? But that's where we met.
It was.
Yes. It was a lifetime ago. It was. Can you imagine? But wasn't that great? We both met at Martha Stewart. We were kind of doing different jobs, right?
Yep.
And yeah, and
But
it
I
was
think the thing
fantastic.
is, what I feel like that time, the time really was so formative, I think, for both of us in different ways in terms of like developing an aesthetic and I mean, the one thing that I think is undoubtable, if someone is a fan or not, Martha has got it locked in with beautiful things, with inspiring things, with delicious things. And I
Yeah,
feel like that time in those kitchens for me was tremendously influential in my life.
I absolutely agree. I think it put me in the direction of my entire career.
Right.
And
So, and y'all,
yeah,
so I'm not going to be that person that talks about Martha Stewart the whole entire interview because that happens to me all the time. And I know that it must happen to you all the time. The reason I'm talking about it is because I feel like that experience is really reflected in this beautiful book because you're right. It is so inspirational. Y'all look at some of these. I'm going to show a close up of some of these pictures. Look at that. I mean, this just delicious, delicious photographs and that pie. Don't you want that pie? I want that pie. Oh my God, I miss pie. But Tara, seriously, it's like, I mean, it's just like you've got I think a recipe with a photograph on every page.
yeah.
It
Yep.
is,
I did not want a recipe without a picture. I can't. How can you cook like that?
yeah. Well, if nothing else, I mean, there's some practical aspects to it, right? Like, okay, this is what I'm going for, right? This is what the end product should look
Exactly.
like. And then also, once again, it's inspirational. So tell me a little bit about Live Life Deliciously.
Well, I started my blog. After Martha Stewart magazine, as an editor there, I went to Ladies Home Journal magazine. So I was the food director at Ladies Home Journal, and then several years ago, that magazine closed, which is so sad. It was an awesome legacy, right? But it propelled me into this place where I kind of had to find sort of a new path. And I was freelancing and doing consulting work and doing food styling. That's what I did, for much of my career.
Yep.
But I still wanted to share my recipes with people.
Right.
and people were asking me for recipes they knew I had created. So I created a website and I called it a recipe website for years. And finally, a friend said, "It's a blog. You have a blog." I was,
You know what it is? The word blog is such an ugly word. I mean, clearly someone without any aesthetics developed that word, don't you think?
I agree, right? And I think to people coming from a publishing background,
Yeah.
it was really hard for me to say, yes, I'm transitioning my career online. I'm a blogger,
Yep.
and I resisted it for a long time.
Yep.
And when I sort of made that change, I realized I can still reach people and engage with people and share. And so the blog Tara Teaspoon was sort of enhanced. And my tagline was always, it just came from the heart. It was like, I want people to live life deliciously. I
Yeah.
want you to live your life deliciously. It's so easy. Enjoy your time in the kitchen. And so it just so happened that that is the name of my first book.
It's wonderful. It really is. And I think that the thing that I think has changed so much since our beginnings in the kitchens is that, even though blog is a terrible word or ugly word, people do have the ability to share recipes, to share stories, to share experiences. We all have these like, crazy little computers right here, right? We always have
Mhm.
to have these, and we can, you can shoot video. We can be on the internet right now. Once upon
No.
a time, it would have taken, like we were discussing when we were setting up, like huge audio crews and huge lighting crews and, editorial teams it's not, right? And I think that the super inspirational part is that we can share with
Yeah.
people, and the barrier isn't so high, right? And it's just really all about getting people to do what you're saying: live life deliciously, enjoy food,
Yes.
enjoy being
Yes.
in.
Can you imagine we're inviting people into our homes right now? We
Right,
do it every day on social media, and we
right.
didn't have that opportunity before. So, yes, I can say, on my blog, hey, you guys, I really love my mom's turkey pot pie. And
Oh my God.
here's the recipe, and it's
Right,
sentimental to me, and it's delicious, and I want you all to share it, instead of saying, go to the November issue of this
right.
magazine. And, I love it. So, there are things I love about it. There are hats that I wear in my business that I do not like,
Yeah.
but it all comes together, and it allowed me to share a book that from the heart, that I think is beautiful and usable.
No, I think so. Let me talk to some folks that are here. I've been showing some names. So
So
Tiffany
good.
is here. We've got my friend Terry Grooms is here. Tara Teaspoon, is that her real name? It's awesome. We've got Terry,
It's
Debbie,
half my real name.
Bonnie, and Tiffany. So you got lots of folks. Oops, what did I just press? I don't know what.
Right?
That was kind of exciting. Cynthia Stevens is here. My mom is here. So there you go. My mom is watching.
Hi.
Beverly is here. I was just talking with Tara's mama a few minutes ago. So she's very excited to have her daughter home. And my mama is going to be very excited to have her daughter home too. So anyway, we've got Sue. So we've got lots and lots of folks. So if y'all have any questions, please type them in the comments and we'll answer them. So it's just really, it's so cool. So let's talk about some recipes, and then I want you to
Love it.
share with us the waffles. So let's talk about your inspiration, because I feel like it's very multicultural. It's all American and very multicultural, which of course is just sort of the same thing, right?
Yeah, all at the same time. It's how we eat. I feel like that's how I eat. Is some nights I feel like Thai food, some nights I feel like dumplings, other
Right.
nights I feel like lasagna or just some grilled chicken. So it really is all of that, and I love that global flavors are so accessible to all of us now. We can go to the store and get a variety of curry pastes
Right.
or different chili sauces, capers and different tomatoes and produce. And how cool that we can bring all of those global flavors into our home and make a easy, beautiful meal.
Right.
It's just fascinating to me. And I really wanted to share how I cook at home, how I eat in this book, and inspire people to do the same.
I think that that's so wonderful. And I think that right now, especially with COVID and Corona and everyone social distancing and so many restaurants are closed in certain cities, and people are craving. The data exists. I mean, people are craving more exotic foods or more multicultural foods. People feel pretty comfortable going in the kitchen and stirring up a pot of pasta, right? Like that is multicultural, but face it, Italian food is pretty standard American operating procedure now. So, but you've got roasted cauliflower with a smoky romesco, which I really love. I love romesco. It's one of my favorites. And I thought that your the romesco tart,
oh my goodness,
that was delicious.
Oh my goodness, when you're ready to have some pastry crust and your favorite sauce, it's so amazing how a sauce that sometimes we use as a condiment or for dipping, it created a really beautiful. Oh, you've got it too.
Oh my gosh, look at that, y'all. That is amazing. This is the Thai meatball and golden coconut curry. And it's olive oil, fennel seeds, red bell pepper, red onion, garlic, grape tomatoes, turmeric, which is good for you, dried basil, cayenne, meatballs, coconut milk, cilantro. I mean, that looks delicious.
Do you love that you just read off a whole list of stuff people probably have in their pantry or their fridge? It's really easy. And I love that those ingredients come together and create this delicious curry that you never thought you could make.
No, and I think it's just like you said, it's just inspiring people, I mean, I feel like that sometimes that I know that I can get even, and I'm a professional cook, like overwhelmed by authenticity and overwhelmed by this laundry list of ingredients. And it doesn't have to be one or the other. And it doesn't mean that this is necessarily any less authentic. It's just like what we're familiar with in our cupboard, right? It might need a little bit of a mind shift. And that's where
I love that.
Been.
I love that perspective. Exactly.
That's perfect. Well, so I would love for you to show us the waffles, or will you talk us a little bit about the waffles? I thought I loved your idea about sharing them. And it sounds like a great dish for people to try over the weekend.
Yes, it really is. And it's as easy as making some cornbread or homemade pancakes or something. And I have them right here. I think you've got my, yep.
Yeah.
So look how delicious. I've got these warm cornmeal waffles, and they are really easy to make. It's dry ingredients, cornmeal flour. You've got it in your pantry, some eggs, some buttermilk. And then, oh my goodness, what I did, it's so decadent. I made a brown butter pecan maple syrup.
Holy, I wanted to cuss. Holy Fitzgerald.
There you go. And really, listen, I would have put some butter on these waffles. Then I would have drizzled some maple syrup. Then I would have put some pecans on. But it's all right here.
Yeah, you got it all in that one bowl. Oh my gosh, I want the close-up cam. I want to be able to zoom in on that.
Right? Let's see. I'll see if I can get it close.
You did it! Who needs a zoom? We got a Tara.
Now, here's the thing. We've got sweet on sweet, and the waffles are pretty. Let's see if I can get those in.
There you go.
The waffles aren't too sweet, but that syrup is. And you know what I love? Putting a little bit of tangy yogurt on top.
Yeah.
It's a element, and let's get close in there. I mean, that bite, I don't know if I can resist not eating it while we're talking.
I'm gonna take this off the main and go back to you. Oh my gosh.
So such a fun, different breakfast. We have waffles, we have pancakes.
It's healthy because you got yogurt in there.
Yogurt, right? And buttermilk. I don't know, whatever else is healthy in there. So
y'all. So let me show you the close up of this. Let me see if I can get that going. Okay, look at that. So good. And we'll have the recipe. We'll have the recipe on social media somewhere, right? We're gonna put that up. But the syrup is butter, salt, maple syrup, pecans, a little bit of cayenne. Right. I love that. That sort of
just balances the sweet,
heat. And then we've got waffles with flour, cornmeal, light brown sugar, baking soda powder, baking soda, salt, eggs, buttermilk, a little bit of canola oil. That's interesting. That's nice.
You can do canola oil or avocado oil.
Right.
People are switching, and it's both work well.
No, I love that. And I think that, the thing is, I've made a ton of changes in the way that I eat, and I'm happy about it and I love it. But what I also say to people is that I'll eat this. I want to eat this. I want to eat good, nutritious, wholesome food. And sometimes there's going to be some indulgences, right? But life is not a bowl of, Twix and seeds and stuff, right? Like we need to, if you want to indulge in that waffle on a Saturday morning, boom, do it, because it's going to make your day better.
I agree. And we're not eating like this every day. I don't think anybody does. And I figured this would speak to your Southern heart, this recipe, but
with cornmeal, right?
Right. I think it's balanced. This definitely is one of those breakfasts you make probably on the weekends or, a vacation day. And then, you know what? I have a whole salad chapter. I'm all about balance. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it really is all good things in moderation. And, so this makes 8 waffles. And I know that I always am asked about freezing and things like that. Do you feel like the things would freeze fine if someone wanted to make a batch and then like tuck one in a freezer bag?
Yes. And then put it in the toaster to heat it up. I think so. Absolutely. You don't need to do from scratch every single day. And, I just talked to a group of people about meatballs and how meatballs streamline your weeknight meals. You can make them, freeze them. You've got it ready to go. So there are so many tips I love to share with people, as a professional cook, kind of, all right, let's look at this differently. Let's simplify your day, your week. Right.
No, I agree, because I feel like sometimes and then some of the folks on here too are professional cooks. So what we can do in 20 minutes is not necessarily what everyone can do in 20 minutes. And that is something that I try really hard. I got my hand slapped a couple of weeks ago. She's like, I love this recipe, but you're completely wrong. It takes me more than 20 minutes to set it up. And I was so thankful that she told me. You know what I mean? I was thankful that I got my hand slapped on social media. I went back and changed it. And so I think that it's, I feel like that this book and what you're doing is the same thing. You just want people to get in the kitchen and eat good food.
Yes. And enjoy their time in the kitchen.
Live life deliciously, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And,
realistic expectations.
I mean, who has a book come out in the middle of a pandemic and it's a book about gathering people together and bringing people together around food? And it still stands true, though. I think we still like to gather. We have our little pandemic pods, whatever you call them, and we can look forward to times that we can come together in bigger groups. But really, you're taking that same thought and creating that space in your home and that kitchen and that love with food.
No, sure. And if it's one person or 2 people or a family of 4 or 6 or whatever the pod is, I mean, I feel like it's important now more than ever to really be mindful and to celebrate those meals. I live by myself now and I make myself dinner every night. I mean, I don't have anything against leftovers, but I'll eat leftovers for lunch the next day because I really enjoy that time in the kitchen, right? I enjoy that time at the end of the day. And maybe it's different for everybody, but I feel like that this book is packed with so many great recipes. Parmesan and herb white bean dip, mandarin and prosciutto crostini. Yum. That is just
so good.
Juicy, sour, salty, bitter, sweet. Oh my God. That just sounds great. Right. I love, Tara, oh my God, the broccoli with the dates.
How to spruce up some regular old roasted vegetables, right? I love roasting vegetables. I really do. So when winter comes around, I'm like, yes, I get to roast all my veggies. Yes. But I want to make them entertaining worthy too. So literally some sliced garlic, some sumac or seasonings from the cupboard, and some sweet dates. Make that savory sweet. It's this huge, delicious side dish.
No, that's fantastic. And I think that that so often people, once again, they think that things have to be fancy to be, good or restaurant quality or whatever. And it's not. It really is, I think, about looking at your refrigerator just a little bit differently, looking at your spice cabinet. But I love dates. It's one of my sort of snacks at the end of the night. Like instead of having something sweet, I might have a couple of dates. Or prunes. I love prunes too. But when I saw that, I was like, because that works perfectly. Once again, you've got the bitterness of the broccoli and then the sweetness the sweetness of the dates. I think that's fantastic. Let's see who's here. Let's just touch base and see if anyone. Mary Bench is here. That's who's here. She said, Tara
That's
Bench.
my mama.
Hey, Mama. Bonnie Jacobs is here. Yes, use those weekly points. We've got Indigo East, and we have Sue Fogg Stanley says, oh, that sounds wonderful. I love dates.
Good.
Y'all, you can win a copy of this book if you go to my Instagram page, which you can find through my website, virginiawillis.com, and then you go to Virginia Willis. This morning we posted a photograph of the book. So you're going to find this, and then you're going to go in and you like me and like Tara. It's all right there. And then you'll please make a comment and tag a friend, and you'll enter to win. And so we'll draw a copy on Monday morning. All right, we got my friend Papa here too. Hey, Papa.
Hi.
Papa, you would love this book. It's just all really beautiful and delicious, good food. So, what is you say it's like shows foodies both serious and casual. So do you feel like, but do you feel like that you have a range of recipes here for people that need a little bit more training wheels, and then like people that are sort of ready to like go off? I mean, do you feel like that's important in a cookbook?
I do. I think the variety, and I mean the roasted broccoli with dates, anyone can make that, right? It's a few ingredients.
Yeah.
There is a mix. And I think the recipes in this book, they really are flavor packed. I really am saying, hey, utilize what's accessible to us. So looking at them, you may be a little like, oh, I'm not sure if I can do that if you're a brand new foodie.
Right.
Anyone who's been in the kitchen for a while, absolutely, you can make any of these recipes. But really, and I know you do this in your books, I write the recipes as if I'm standing right next to you in the kitchen. So every move is sort of described. It's kind of a no-fail thing if you will read the recipe, and I'm just right there with you, sort of saying, okay, this is what this should look like, and cook it for about this long, depends on your oven. And, so I think that's really important too.
It is, because people are making an investment. I mean, okay, so someone might be able to, get a recipe online, but if someone's purchasing a cookbook, they've made the investment in the cookbook, they've made the investment in the time, they've made the investment in the ingredients. I feel an obligation. That my recipes are well written and well tested, and that they work, and that. And I know that just I can read these and tell, right? You can read a recipe and tell. I was looking at a fitness magazine last night, and it's like, that is not right. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know who. I know exactly who I look for the bio. And it's like that does not happen in that amount of time. There is no way. You know what I mean? So, but you and I know enough about it to do that, right? So, but
I think so, and have gotten feedback from people who cook our recipes and who we interact with and engage with. There it is.
Art.
Thank you. That is the romesco tart with this delicious salad, which, by the way, that salad, if you make it on its own, is so good.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I actually, I have a container of romesco that I made for an event last week. So I won't make yours fresh because I used peanuts.
I like that.
A Georgia version. So I used peanuts, but once again, so romesco, y'all, for those of you that don't know, it's a sauce. There's a recipe for it, and Tara's beautiful book, Live Life Deliciously. And it's an almond sauce, and it's traditionally made with almonds and garlic and sherry wine vinegar and paprika and roasted red peppers. It's delicious.
Do you make yours with roasted red peppers or tomatoes?
I make mine with roasted red peppers, but you've seen some, I guess, with tomatoes as well. I put a little bit of tomato puree.
Yes, if you dive deep, the traditional Spanish version of romesco is a tomato-based sauce.
Wow.
But I love the piquant flavor of roasted red peppers, and I think it's a great sort of morphing of that old-fashioned traditional sauce.
And you completely like, boom, I love it in the tart. When I make it, I'll use it. I serve it with steak often, like something on the grill, because strong flavors will stand up to the steak. But I use it as a sandwich spread. I mean, I use it like as a vegetable crudité dip. Like once you have it, it's kind of there, and it's plant-based, and it's so good. So
Those
Yay.
are great.
Okay, look at this. Yay, you. I just got this book today and I'm currently looking at it. It's amazing. I am so happy with this purchase.
Oh, Jane, thank you. Good.
Yay, bravo, Tara. That is
Woo.
so fantastic. And Teresa Mullen says, I can't wait to dig back into this book this weekend. So
Awesome.
that's good. You've got some fans and friends here, lady. That's fantastic.
Well, cool. I
Yay.
just love it. I love having that in people's homes, and I want it to get splattered and make notes in it and use that book. You know, isn't that kind of when you put a book out in the world, Virginia, you're just like, I want you to use it and get it dirty. And yeah,
I know. It is like it sometimes, depending on how tired I am, it'll bring me to tears. Like if someone brings Bon Appetit, y'all, which is like 12 years old, I think now. If they bring it and it's just this falling apart thing, I've seen them chewed up by a dog and still in use. I mean, you name it, you know what I mean? Like it really is. I know that we love these. This is your baby, right? You put your heart and your soul and your dreams
absolutely
into
right.
this book.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. And what an honor to be at someone's table. What an honor to be on their bookshelf, right?
It really is. It really is.
I feel like it's just tremendous. So, all right. So Tara, I've got some questions for you. I've got this new deal, or I'm ending with aspirations of Brene Brown, right? I've got a little rapid fire.
Okay.
So I want to ask you, what is the last cookbook you read from or cooked from other than your own?
Okay, 2 different answers. So the last cookbook I read was my old boss, Susan Spungen's new cookbook, Open Table. It's gorgeous. I love it. Thumb through it. And then I cooked from another dear friend's slow cooker cookbook. And it's like all these like very wintry, stewy, delicious recipes. So I just cooked from that one. It's called Longhorn Farm Slow Cooker Recipes.
I haven't seen Susan's book. I'll have to make sure to see it. I do love a slow cooker. It is certainly high slow cooker season, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's perfect.
Yeah. Okay, so what is your most indispensable cooking tool?
Okay, let's see. For that one, I mean, I've got a small handful, but I cannot live without my flat whisk. It's a whisk that's kind of U-shaped and it fits right on the bottom of a pan. It's great. Love it.
That is so funny.
I could show you.
I feel like whisks are almost as personal as a hairbrush.
Oh, yes. Look at that.
Wait, let me see. Oh, look at you. Okay,
right?
There you go. You love that. That's awesome.
I use it for vinaigrettes, dressings, sauces, butters, roux, everything.
That's so cool. And it's so funny. Like you said, it's such a personal thing. Like,
yes.
Whisks, I think, are one of the most personal things, other than perhaps a knife in the kitchen. So that's great. That's yay. Thanks for showing me something new. All right. So we talked about flavor and how your book is just all about flavor and people opening their fridge and their cupboard to get these inspirations for living life deliciously. Of sour, salty, bitter, and sweet, and savory. What's your favorite? What's your go-to?
Ooh, I am such a sweet tooth, but funny enough, I really love experimenting with savory flavors, like the umami. Yeah. I think it's kind of new to us to realize how we can cook with umami and savory. So I think that's probably rising to the top. I like that one.
No, I do too. And I think as well, like, when we take fat, sugar, and salt out, you have to put savory in, right? So if you're trying to lighten things up or make it a little bit more healthy, then that's where that umami, that savory flavor really helps, right? Like
good point. Yeah, exactly.
And there's I love the science behind that.
Mm-hmm. How our, the physical and our tongues taste it differently. And I love it.
No, it's all super cool. All right. So we're getting into dangerous territory here. Who is your favorite celebrity chef or cooking show?
Okay. I've always had a soft spot in my heart for Jamie Oliver. He's a British chef. But I think his food is so fresh and inventive and fun. And he has such a great personality. So I have to say Jamie Oliver.
That is great. And I do, whenever I watch him, I love to watch him. He's got such a approachable nature, right? Like you
Yeah.
feel he's just like, oh, kind of like, come on, mate, you can do it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's, just it's no big deal. We're just throwing some stuff on a pan and tossing it in the oven.
Right. And then it looks gourmet at the end because he's Jamie
Yeah.
Oliver. But it really does feel like, oh, I can jump right in and do this with him.
No, I know. Yeah. And I mean, I like looking at it for two reasons. I like looking at it as a consumer, and I
Mhm.
also like watching him as a professional to see what he does, because I really feel like he has been so successful because he's so endearing and approachable with audiences. I think that that's really cool.
Too.
All right, so this is a dangerous question.
Oh.
What would be your last meal? We're not in any rush, but what would be your last meal?
Last meal. I mean, it changes all the time, but I think always, I want a good steak, maybe some mac and cheese and donuts.
Ah!
That's my last meal.
Really in that order, right? Just in case you run out of time. You can
Oh,
start.
right. Bring it all at once.
I love that. I know it's like there's
All over
there's so many good tastes. A good steak, you can't beat a good steak sometimes. I mean, I don't eat red meat all that often, but when I do, I want it to be good.
That's why it's the last meal, right?
Yeah,
It's not
right. Yeah, you don't have to worry about your cholesterol count because we're wrapping things up.
And I love donuts so much that I have to put those in.
Okay, but I have to ask you now. This is our sixth question. Are you a baked donut or a fried donut? The cakey donut or the yeasty donut?
That is true. Well,
Or both?
fried. Yes.
Fried.
I think fried. I mean, I'll eat the baked donuts, but
Yeah.
fried.
Mama and I recently were driving by a Krispy Kreme, and it was like Hot Donuts Now was on. It was like, "Arr!" And wow. So anyway, Tara, I want to thank you so much for coming on today. You did a joy and delight, and your book is delicious and beautiful. And look at that smiling face. Look at that sweet smiling face.
Well, thanks for having me.
Who wouldn't want to have that sweet lady in their kitchen helping them cook, right?
Right,
I think that's the way to go.
Can I tell you a funny story before we jump off?
Yeah.
Okay. And this came from a dear friend, so I find it very endearing. But when I was first telling people that I was going to write a cookbook,
Yep.
she said, and I get her point, but she said, well, you're not going to be on the cover, right? What's on the cover? Because if you're on the cover, that'll never sell.
This is a good friend.
This is a good friend.
Yeah.
I got her point. Like, beautiful food sells, right? But I wanted to bring my personality to this and let people know who I was and like meet them, right? So I'm on the cover. So buy the book and prove her wrong. But I thought it was so funny that just people's perspectives of, and you were saying, hey, look at that.
And it's such a huge decision, and it's not always your decision. And the publishing company has all these reasons, and there's so much like, logic behind it. Conversely, my last book, they wanted me on the cover, and I said, nope, I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like,
you kind of, maybe my next book won't have me on the cover, but here I am. I'm in your kitchen, and I just
no, I love it. Well, I know that your mama loves you being on the cover. I do know that Mary Vance loves her daughter being on the cover of her cookbook. I can guarantee that. So,
I love it.
Make sure to go out and live life deliciously. Tara, I want to thank you so much for being on today.
Thanks. It was a pleasure. Good to talk to you.
Yeah, good to talk to you. Good to talk to you. Wasn't that fun, y'all? I have so much fun doing this, and I want to thank you so much for joining me every week. So I've got a couple of curveballs coming up. I am going to be away for 2 weeks in February, but I am going to be pre-recording a couple of special episodes. And so I think that what I'll do is I'm going to post on my Facebook page questions that you would like to ask Natalie Dupree. So she's definitely going to be one of my guests. And my other guest is going to be Sandra Gutierrez. So super excited about having these dear friends in the show. But I am going to be in the wilds of North Georgia without access to internet or cell phone for 2 weeks. So that should be cool or fun or terrifying. I'm not sure which. So anyway, I want to thank y'all so much for joining me this week on Cookbooks with Virginia. For more tips, techniques and recipes, please join me at virginiawillis.com. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Make sure to head over to Instagram and sign up to win a copy of Tara's Tara's gorgeous book. There you go. Awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Bon appetit, y'all.